All right, everyone, welcome back to G'day Namaste and to a very special episode of my foreigner feature. So normally I do this online, but today's episode features my lovely friend Danelle from America, and she is a fellow expat living here in Chandigarh. So we've decided to do a little bit of a coffee date and do our interview in person. So I will now introduce Danelle. Can you please just let us know why you moved to India, in particular Chandigarh, what you do here, and we'll get started.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Amanda, for inviting me on your channel. This is so exciting. This is my first interview. So yeah, I'm really excited. Whenever I dated my husband way back in the day, I always knew that we would someday move to India. He was kind of in denial about it, but I was fairly certain of it. And what brings us here is actually for our family. My mother-in-law has an illness, and it actually was the catalyst for us coming a few years earlier than we were planning on it. So we're here to really enjoy some really wonderful family time.
Great. Thank you so much. So straight into the hot topic question that everyone wants to know is what it's like living in India. What were some of the hardest things you struggled with when you first moved?
Oh, that's a really great question.
Because it's only been a year, a bit over a year.
It's been a bit over a year, yeah. So I would say anybody who's moving here, it's going to take you a while to adjust.
Yeah.
There'll be a honeymoon. Yeah, there'll be a honeymoon period. There'll be a lot of times when you're just like, am I going to go back? Yeah. Mm-hmm. India is such a beautiful country because of the people. I would say that the people are just amazing, and also like it's endless exploration. In the West, you could explore some things, but here every city and state is so different. So it's kind of you're a traveler's wonderland, which is really what's amazing. But to me, it's been the people. They've been so welcoming and so amazing. And it's really helped with the adjustment period. But the thing that I constantly struggle with is the language. I know that people who don't have the two kids like I do, they are able to like take language lessons and things like that. Amanda's really, really good at that. And some of our expat friends, they've really dedicated themselves to that. And I highly recommend that because I'm constantly depending on my husband or other people to really like help me translate. And people try, but they're shy about English. And so it's tough. Also like, the legal paperwork, have somebody who helps you with that. Yeah. Because that's getting like
going to the bank.
The bank accounts. Also, what I would say is for people from the West, especially, be prepared to lose a little bit of your independence. You'll lose some of your independence because you'll need to depend on people to do things for you.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because and that was something that I really struggled with when I first moved. And I've talked about this in other videos, but I basically moved here and wanted the same level of independence that I had in Australia, and it's not possible. Even now, I've been here 4.5 years and I'm probably like 98% independent, but it's never going to be 100%. Because even though I am learning Hindi, I still need Snil for things. There's things that you have to rely on other people for whether it's just for like, documents or government things that you need help from someone. And I really had to lower my ego a little bit. And a
lot.
Yeah.
It's actually, it wears on you sometimes because you just, this is an interesting perspective that I don't think you'll see on a lot of channels is that, and it's also different for us Westerners because I think we were raised to be like strong, independent women.
Yes.
But here, actually, you kind of end up looking foolish sometimes if you try to take on too much of for yourself. I've learned this, especially with like the kids and the family, because they're like, why didn't you ask us for help? And they actually take offense. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. That's just doesn't come naturally to me. And so it's actually okay to ask for help here. It gives people a purpose. It makes them feel useful. It's a cohesive system. Everybody sort of needs help. Everybody, and that's how it works is by leaning on people and talking to people and that community connection and also giving a little bit of your ego, but getting so much in return because for the first time we can feel supported.
Yes, that's actually such a good point when you said that, like, we were raised to be very independent. I had my first job at 14 and 9 months when I was allowed to in Australia. And my parents said to me, all right, now that you're working your first job, like, you're paying for your own things now. This is how you're going to learn to be independent. And that's how I've always been. And then to move here and not be allowed to work and have to rely on my husband and then basically be like, can I have 500 rupees to go and meet friends for coffee? I felt like I was asking, like, my father for money. I hated it. And, like, even to the point now, what you were saying about people kind of taking offense when you try to take on things for yourself, Sunil will still say to me now, just, like, stop trying to, like, put your ego down and, like, ask for help. You don't have to do everything. And I'm like, oh, but I want to. I want to. It's just like this need inside me. But yeah, totally relate to that independence thing. And that is a fantastic point, because I knew that I would not be completely independent, but I was not prepared for the level and how long it did take me to become independent to this level. And it's something that I wasn't prepared for at all.
Yeah, like, I ended up taking a lot of my independence back and felt really empowered by this latest health journey that I went on. Mm-hmm. I actually needed an operation and I took full hold of that. I went to numerous doctors. I consulted a lot of places. I did hospital visits. Yeah. I did all of that on my own. Mm-hmm. And it was such an empowering thing to not only, like, take my body back, but to also, like, learn how to live in this country as in terms of, like, finding and accessing healthcare and things like that.
Yeah, that's so true. I keep saying that it's so true, but it's so relatable, because when you do those little things, it gives you this unbelievable sense of achievement or accomplishment. Even me just getting my bank account, even though Sunil came with me, it's those little things where you think, like, okay, I can do this and I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. That's the thing, is it's just a paradigm shift. It's such a paradigm shift, and things that you're not really expecting are going to shift. But being open to those experiences is and being open to the adventure of it and what you can learn as a person is, I think, just a key to success.
Yes, definitely. I did forget to mention this in the introduction, but Danelle and her family have their own YouTube channel. So I will link that in the description, and their channel will be up top. I always forget which side it's going to be. But yes, so they do a lot of traveling around the world and inside India and post all about it.
And that's what my husband and I, thank you very much, by the way, for that. Sorry. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm sure Amanda feels the same way, is that also a way to survive India is to kind of step outside of it every once in a while. Like,
yeah, no, that's true. You do, because I didn't leave for 3.5 years for the pandemic because of coronavirus, and I was ready to not come back. You need to have a break, because India, as beautiful as it is, it's also very chaotic, and it's a very hectic country compared to what we're used to. And you do need to be able to step away in order to come back and appreciate it more again.
Exactly. 100%. We go to Europe. We've gone to Southeast Asia. It's a great stepping off point to travel to if you're looking for, like, a home base to travel more. Traveling from the West, or traveling even from Europe, it can be very far and a long travel to go, all the way to these South Asian countries. For here, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, we went to Bali and it was like a 6-hour flight. It was nothing. And also, like, we just discovered Kuala Lumpur, and it's amazing. It was so much fun, in Thailand and Vietnam. And we're so excited to, like, visit these areas around here that would be hours and hours and hours long flights. But for here, it's just, and it's cheaper too.
Yeah. Well, from Australia, most of these Asian countries are really close, but for the States, not so much.
Yeah.
Bali's known as, like, second Australia. Because, like, where I used to live in Darwin, Bali was like a 2-hour flight.
Oh my gosh.
People would go there for the weekends. All right. So anything that you still struggle with now?
Just the language. The language. And there's a driver's license thing that's turning out to be very interesting.
You should make a vlog about that.
I will, once it's over, but I've been saying that for now 9 months. So that tells you it's quite a kerfuffle. But I'm going to walk this one through her driver's license, which is, but what I find that was such an amazing thing was you were the one who introduced me to expats in Chandigarh. Cause I think I connected with Amanda first, and then, I found the expats in Chandigarh, and oh my God, I can't. You need it. You need it so much. Yeah. I had maybe the other night, I had my son's birthday party. And if you're a mom and you do birthday parties, it's insane anywhere in the world. But what got me through it was the fact that I was having wine with some expat friends afterwards. And we sat on our balcony. We drank 2 bottles of wine. We had the time of our lives. My kids destroyed our house. Literally, it was ketchup everywhere. Now Rika and I laugh about that. It was anarchy. Alex, who doesn't have kids, she came in and she was like, it's some sort of crazy scene in there. There's toys everywhere. There's like this dancing crab that's like wandering the floor. It was madness, but it was so much fun. It was amazing. Yeah. Halloween party at Rika's was wonderful with the kids. Yeah. And it just makes you feel like you found a home. You feel grounded, you feel homey with people who are going through the same issues that you're going through, and there's bonding. So find an expat group.
You've already sort of mentioned a few things you do love about India. Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, I can't really stress enough the whole family aspect of it. Yeah. I mean, that if you have a good relationship with your in-laws, you will be highly successful here. If you don't, it'll be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
But, India also has a lot of mindfulness and yoga. So either way, take the opportunity, work on yourself. It's a wonderful place to do that.
Yeah.
It's a great place to find yourself. And after going through this experience, I really recommend that people, one point in their life, actually move out of where they're comfortable, because I think that it just causes you to be just more of a well-rounded individual.
Yeah. Yeah, true. All right. What do you miss about America?
Sadly to say, not much. The longer that I stay outside of it, and during this period of time in America especially, it's kind of a wild time to be. America has a lot of issues. I mean, there's a reason why we're here with 2 small children, and we're also trying to go through the immigration process to get Italian citizenship, because we want to offer our children citizenship of the world. That's, I think, an enduring gift that we can give them. But also, I'm a mother of 2 small children, and in America right now, it's not a safe place to be. And I don't want to get too political. I love my country. I hope it changes and gets its act together at some point. But gun violence is the #1 killer of kids right now. Yeah. It's taken over auto violence. It's taken over car crashes and all that stuff like that. And it's just not a safe place to be. As a mother, I feel that. And it's also horrendously expensive. The healthcare is insane. I miss my friends. I miss my family. I miss the ease of things and how things sort of were. I miss the food sometimes, but that in and of itself is kind of a mess too, because the food is wildly unhealthy there. And so, but I do miss my old life, and I miss my friends deeply. But right now, I wouldn't trade that for the safety and security of my family. And also, I love being here and giving my kids the chance to have this wonderful relationship with their family, because that is
priceless.
That is priceless. It really is priceless.
Yeah. All right. So do you think you're missing out on the American dream by being in India? This is one of the Instagram questions.
Oh, no. I think this is the American dream. I think more and more people are trying to move out of America and to hold their wealth that they make in America and to move abroad to safer areas. To be fairly honest, we did a lot of hustling before we had kids. We have some properties in America, which I think the American dream is changing because unfortunately with real estate prices, it's out of people's. I think the American dream is to own a house. And I think honestly, the American dream is to rent a house. Owning a house is really difficult with the prices of things. So we have a house, so we have the American dream. We have to manage it. But I think honestly, the American dream at this point is to just live a happy, healthy life wherever that is. And our children have access to American education and all of that. And so I think actually I am living the American dream, just here and internationally.
Yeah. Okay. So another Instagram question, tax issues and transferring money abroad. So do you use money agents or banks, or how does that work as a foreigner in India for you?
So again, you're going to have to rely on help for this. And what we've talked about is you have to reach out to certain people on this. There are different types of accounts. There's NRE accounts. My husband handles a lot of our finance. For a while, we were still getting paid in American money. And so we would transfer. It's fairly easy to transfer money back and forth. It's not that big of a deal if you have the right account set up. There's lots of information online. Now, he does have a position in India, so we do pay taxes in India now. And we have an accountant for all of that. Again, getting the proper support, getting the right type of help. It's not that big of a deal. If you are an American coming here, your pay will drastically decrease. So you should be aware of that, but it will also go a lot further here. So if you don't have many expenses back in America, you can live a very comfortable life here if you manage your money correctly. I highly suggest investing in India, in real estate or anything like that. It's a very growing economy and world. I definitely recommend that. We own our house. We actually are flat in the same community as my in-laws. We bought it before coronavirus. And so we live a very, very comfortable life here financially. And when it comes to like moving money around, honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out, but we get a lot of assistance and help for that. So just reach out to family here, get their opinions, reach out to bankers. Everybody will be happy to help you. It'll take you some time to get it set up and to get the hang of it. But again, with the help, it should be fine.
Yeah. I will also mention that I don't know if Indians know this or if foreigners know this either, but under the Indian constitutional law, we don't get freedom of speech or expression. So even with OCI cards, even NRIs with OCI cards, they're not entitled to freedom of speech or expression. So there are certain things that you do have to be careful about expressing because we don't get that same right as Indians do, as Indian citizens. So if you follow foreigners that are in India and wondering why they're not talking openly about issues, we're actually not allowed. We can be deported. So if those are things that we have to be very careful of. There's actually a list under the Constitution of things that foreigners don't have the same rights as a citizen, which is we're not allowed to vote, we can't own farmland, we can't hold a government job, we don't have freedom of speech or expression, we're not allowed to attend political rallies, and we can't attend any protests or marches either.
Which is good because you don't really want to, because you don't, again, I'll say stay in your lane for a while.
Exactly.
My husband's family has a big military background, and they've said some things, and I've disagreed with them sometimes, but then I've like had to realize I'm not from here. I wasn't raised here. And especially with like my husband's family who served in the military bravely and wonderfully, they have skin in the game. And so they're going to have a vastly different opinion than somebody who's, and also like the media, so just stay in your lane, take it for what it is, understand and respect it. Respect it.
Yes.
You're not going to make changes. You're not going to make waves, and your life will be so much better if you just respect things.
So last question, any advice for any other foreigners wanting to move to India, short or long term?
I think we've talked a lot about different advices and stuff like that. Check your ego with your immigration docs. Build up a lot of patience.
Oh God, yes.
I have no patience. None.
Me too.
None.
This thin. Thin.
Yeah. And if motherhood hasn't given it to me, India sure has. Also just like your tolerance with things. It's patience and tolerance. It's such a big thing. And again, moving out of your comfort zone will help you with that. We were in Bali and we were walking to like a hut and that we were staying at, and there was like this huge lizard in the road. And I was like, oh, looky there. And my husband looked at me and goes, what? you know, 5 years ago, you would have screamed bloody murder. You would have, and I'd been like, oh, look, take a photo. Now I'm like, take a photo. Look at that, it's a big butt. So it will change you. It'll change you in a wonderful way. And do it. Take the leap. Yeah. Life is short. If you don't like it, you can leave.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I told myself when I was planning to move, is like, I'll just try it. And if it doesn't work out, it's not like I'm giving up my home country. I still have home and family to go back to, right?
Yeah. You can always go back. You can always travel. And also, like, find expats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find expats. That's one of the biggest advice, because that will help you just settle in a lot faster.
Definitely.
And just, so find expats. Check your ego, expect a lot of patience, and travel. Travel.
Yeah.
Even if you have kids, even don't let any excuses. Travel. See the country and keep traveling, because this country is insane. It is so beautiful. Don't just stick to the triangle. Go to, go take a mountain trek in Nepal, like our friend Alex. Not Nepal, but the Himalayas up there. Just travel and explore. It'll blow your mind how different the country can be just in and of itself. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So that is all of the questions. So if anyone else has any other questions for Danelle, just write them in the comments. I'm sure she'll be able to catch up on them with her own YouTube channel. Again, I'll put that link in the description and up top. So it's the Idle Family, IDLE.
IDLE, yes.
Yeah, the Idle Family. But
anything but idle.
But yes, thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed our in-person interview.
Yay!
And stay tuned for the next episode of Foreigner Feature.
Yay! Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.